This episode of Wookies on X-Wing is brought to you in part by Metagames, Atlantic Canada's newest gaming and tournament center.
Check it out at metagames.com. That's metagames with a Z.com.
Long live Metagames! Welcome back to Wookies on X-Wing. I'm John.
And I'm Matt.
And today we have two returning players. We have Gizmo, flying a Donut of Doom with Associates. That's Dash Rendar with an engine upgrade, giving it the boost action. The Outrider title, combined with a heavy laser cannon for the nice Donut of Death. Push the Limit, and Kyle Katarn to shed some stress and getting actions while doing it. You have a Gold Squadron Y-Wing with a TLT and the R3A2 for a semi-effective stressinator, as well as a Bandit Squadron with the munition failsafe and advanced homing missiles. As this is early March, they do not have access to the wonderful upgrade known as guidance chips. And then we also have Patrick. And what does Patrick fly for us today, Matt?
Alright, so Pat is actually going a little, relatively old school here. He's flying a pair of Phantoms. There's Whisper with Veteran Instincts, Advanced Cloaking Device, and the Fire Control System. And then to shake it up a little bit, there's an Intelligence Agent on Whisper here. And then he's also flying Echo with exactly the same upgrades. And then an Omega Squadron TIE-FO pilot with the Calculation EPT and a Weapons Guidance Tech upgrade. So very efficient with that focus action on the TIE-FO, and then kind of annoying on the Phantoms with the Intelligence Agent getting to look at an opponent's maneuver dial at the start of the activation phase.
Well, the Intelligence Agent is a nice crewman that is relatively cheap, and it allows these Phantoms to play as if they were playing before the, let's say, call it a patch, before the game was modified. They got the heavy nerf and really hurt them. So now with the intelligence agents, if there's a ship relatively close to them, they can reveal some dials, figure out where they're going to go. Now let's get right into some obstructions and obstacles here.
Yeah, so there's 3 big debris clouds linearly across the map, and then 3 little asteroids. And really interesting deployments from both players here. We have Pat has spread out his fleet across the entire length of his board, and the Phantoms are actually, Echo is looking up the board, and I think Whisper is looking across, and Gizmo actually deployed his two fighters looking up the board, and Dash is looking directly across. So some very interesting maneuvers from both players here.
It looks like Pat is flying extremely cautiously with that TIE-FO pilot. Doesn't want to commit them too early or send it off in a direction that he will regret later on. That Omega pilot is fairly interesting. It's the equivalent of a Black Squadron pilot with its pilot skill 4 and EPT, and then you combine that with the tech upgrade that is taken, as well as calculation. Whenever it's going to use that focus, it can change a focus result to a crit. It can change, obviously, as with any other ship, can change the multiple focus results to hits, or it can change a blank result to a hit with spending the focus. So he has lots of options there to make sure that whenever he's rolling to attack, that focus is getting used somehow.
Yeah, and we have Dash just going, no cares given, going right through that debris cloud. As a pilot, he doesn't care.
No. Doesn't care as long as he doesn't land on it, and when it comes to debris, he still doesn't care anyway.
Yeah, so we saw, moved up, barrel rolled over, pushed the limit for focus, and Echo is turning into the board edge.
I think the real trick here with both of these pilots is that they are different styles of Phantom play. So flying both of them is a little tricky because they don't fly exactly the same. They fly with different play styles.
And this makes Echo's maneuver make a lot more sense with them being able to decloak using the 2 bank maneuver. So a nice repositioning tool, very dangerous. One slight miscalculation and you're flying your ship off the board, turn 1.
Yeah.
But a nice use of it. It's also looked like Whisper did that ever annoying 1-turn maneuver.
Yes. Love it.
decloaking sideways, so setting up for a nice flanking run onto Gizmo's 2 fighters here, should they elect to ignore the Phantoms. If they don't, well, they're gonna have a TIE FO coming into the sides of them. So it's gonna be interesting where they decide to go here.
I like the TIE FO, the way that he has it set up here, and the reason for it is obviously he has a sustainability with his attacks, but on top of that, it's not as dangerous as other TIE FOs that you would normally see, such as Omega Leader, so you might want to ignore him, but that's one of those things, it's like if you ignore him, he's still going to punish you with that just sheer consistency.
Yeah.
As for Gizmo here, he's flying 2 really cool fighters that I'm not used to seeing with Dash. Obviously, I'm used to seeing that wonderful, wonderful E-Wing pilot.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Corrin, very much used to seeing a Dash Corrin, or Dash Han or Chewie.
Yeah, something along those lines. So, not used to seeing kind of Joe Schmoes here. So, you have that Z-95 Bandit Squadron pilot with homing missiles, and so, not homing missiles, sorry, advanced homing missiles. So what they do is, if you are able to land a hit, you get to just deal a damage card, which is kind of interesting, all things considered. And then coupled with the fact that you have munitions failsafe in there, you're not too worried about missing because you're not really wasting the shot if you do miss.
Yeah, it's the the munitions failsafe for a 1-point modification. I'm a fan. I love that card. For anything that uses munitions a lot.
As well as you have this Y-Wing here that's flying about, and it has a lot of flexibility. It has a lot more flexibility than you're used to seeing because it has a TLT, obviously. TLTs are good pretty much no matter where you have them, but on top of that, you also have the R3A2 astromech droid handing out stress when ships are in their firing arc. So it could definitely be a tool to use and control the board.
Yeah, I do like Gizmo's placement of the Y-Wing here, because those, well, as we all know, Phantoms, if it's one thing they hate, it's stress.
Yes.
They cannot do their cloaking shenanigans if they're stressed out. And with Gizmo's Y-Wing here, he's not locked into that fixed forward arc. He doesn't have the BTL title on there. So he can use the stressing with the entire turret rotation.
Well, he won't be able to, with the way that the droid works, he's not able to stress out somebody that's outside of his fire arc. But if he doesn't have arc, he has the ability to leverage his TLT
He's
turret
still able
anyway.
to shoot. Yeah. I'm always interested to see people using advanced homing missils. They're such a weird upgrade, because they're 3 points, so they're not terribly expensive as ordnance goes. But they're only range 2, so you have a fairly narrow band to shoot them at. They are 3 attack dice, but if it's hit, you just deal a face-up damage card to the defender.
Oh, yes.
So it's with TIE Phantoms, if you happen to deal a direct hit to them, you just exploded. They're gone.
Yeah, and then now you notice here, Pat, it's not using the newer damage deck, so he doesn't have to worry as much about cascading crits. But with the invent of the new damage deck and its introductory into the meta, having homing missiles and bringing out those really powerful crits is very, very potent.
It can be quite scary for sure. So here's like we said, the TIE FO is going to end up flanking in. He is being chased by Dash. Dash using his boost action from the upgrade there.
Oh yeah, I love engine upgrade. I still think it's a little expensive for what you get from it, but it is so good, especially when you have something like a shuttle.
Yeah, well, with him it's quite nice because he can, especially with Kyle on there. So he's shedding his stress from push the limit. So he's after turn 1, he can potentially perform 3 actions a turn.
Oh yeah.
It's quite phenomenal.
Yeah, push the limit and Kyle Katarn, beautiful combination, especially with Dash, who has the whole board to just move around and be a big jerk. So I'm a big fan of him.
So an unfortunate bump from Echo there into the back of Whisper, but Echo is long enough range that it shouldn't matter that much. And as long as they're shooting, you're going to have the fire control system kicking in. And from there on, you're just golden. Now, Whisper is... If he can get into range 1... Oh, looks like that's good. So Whisper doesn't have to worry about getting stressed here.
Well, he can still get stressed from the primary attack. Yeah,
it doesn't have to worry about the TLT at least.
Well, and that's the thing. Again, I'm a little interested to see why he pulled this style of Gold Squadron pilot, because the way that the wording works with TLTs and R3A2 is whenever you declare an attack, and with TLTs, as we screwed up like many videos ago. Once you fire with the TLT, you get your primary weapon attack, and then the title triggers, the title kicks in, and you get to determine another attack. You declare another attack, and then you can get stressed on that one. But the tertiary attack, the second TLT shot, is not a declared attack, so you can't get stressed from that attack.
Yeah, you get 2 with the title, but you can't triple dip.
You can't triple dip, no. So with not having the title here, the best stress that he can get is 1. So it's a very hybrid Y-Wing, and because it's a hybrid, obviously, he has a lot more flexibility with how he wants to play it. He's not limited to say, okay, well, this is just a stress bot, or this is just a TLT bot.
Yeah.
He can play a little bit of both, but he doesn't have the extreme benefit of it. So here we get some shots going in.
That is the heavy laser cannon. There's a weapon malfunction onto the TIE-FO, and Whisper opened up previously onto range 1 onto the Y-Wing.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of the heavy laser cannon is that you might not get crits right away from the initial burst, but with something like a target lock, you can re-roll into crits.
Yep, and that is that Y-Wing has all 3 of its shields gone, and Whisper is recloaked and focused, so quite nice, and also has a target lock. And it looks like with all of that, manages to land a hit on the elusive fighter from the Y-Wing.
That is absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, no, sorry, that was the missiles. My apologies. That was the advanced... Oof.
So that could have been an instantly fried Phantom.
Alright, so the advanced homing missiles, they paid off. Living a little dangerously there, but still not... That definitely was nice.
Well, that Bandit Squadron has completely served its purpose as of right now, and if it doesn't shoot again for the rest of the game, it won't be that big of a loss, especially when dealing with Phantoms and their high defense. However, what you can use with a Bandit Squadron pilot is use it as a blocker, make it so that it can't get these actions in, make it very difficult for it to maneuver around, and control the battlefield, and you might win.
Yeah, exactly. And so Whisper was not stressed when she attacked, so she did manage to recloak. So decloaking herself here, gonna set up into a nice position to get some shots on someone else. Probably continue going after that Y-Wing. She does have the target lock on it. Looked like Echo was just a little too far away, so no shots from them, unfortunately.
I'm actually kind of surprised that that particular Phantom did not cloak the other way and then just do a one hard turn to get behind it. Because because that Y-Wing, because it stressed itself out, it can't do a K-turn. So it would have been a lot safer in a position like that.
Yeah. But it's quite possible there's going to be the one turn here. Probably going to be the one hard turn here. Definitely risky with a Headhunter right beside the Y-Wing. But we'll see. See what Pat's doing.
Here's some nice flanking from the Omega Squadron pilot.
Yeah, it's definitely what he wants to be there for. Now he is quite heavily damaged. He's only got 1 health left.
Yeah, the TIE-FO, as mentioned many times before, might be a little bit more durable than a TIE fighter, but not enough.
Not a lot more durable, no. And so barrel rolling sideways looks like he wants to clear a landing spot for Whisper. I would say there's a 1 hard turn coming here. So there's the green maneuver to remove the push the limit stress from Dash.
And bam, you're getting a focus token.
Nice use of Kyle. And now Gizmo really has... He's got quite a plethora of actions he can do here. Probably, what do you think? Maybe boost to get a little closer?
I don't think he needs to. With the heavy laser cannon
That's right. Yeah,
being a
with the HLC,
secondary
he doesn't want
weapon.
to
Yeah,
be.
exactly. Heavy laser cannons are secondary weapons, so they don't care about range bonuses. And the way that the Outrider is, it doesn't really want to get close enough that it would have to worry about the range 1 band.
No, that's right. He definitely doesn't. He wants to barrel roll out of the range 1.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, little used to seeing them with
fact,
Mangler cannons.
Oh yeah. In fact, I'm pretty sure that in the following turns, it's actually going to start moving away from the battle.
Yeah, and probably circles, just strafe across.
Oh yeah.
Now this is interesting. Did not expect Whisper to maneuver quite like that. Suppose with the 1 turn, it is a white maneuver, so she wouldn't be able to shed her stress. So she's just going to recloak there, play a bit defensive. She's only got the 2 health left.
Yeah, and with the heavy laser cannon being where it is, you really want to be careful there. Here's another Phantom coming in. The trick with Phantoms is they are so delicate. They are glass cannons. You have to know exactly what you want to do with them. You have to be very good at the finesse and the arc dodging. Any wrong moves with them, and you can just completely lose them, and they're a huge chunk of your squadron point cost.
We had a slight order of operations issue there, moved Whisper before Echo, so just rewinding to make sure Echo would land without issue there. And Echo's fine, not a problem. So there's going to be actions. Nice, hopefully a nice big shot coming out from that Phantom. It has the potential to just outright kill that Y-Wing.
That would be my target. I mean, ultimately, I feel that both of these Phantoms should have been going after the Outrider first, because that is probably the biggest threat on the table, especially considering the Y-Wing doesn't have the ability to double tap on its stress.
Mm-hmm.
So the TLTs are scary, but not that scary.
They're annoying.
Yeah.
At least the stress. Like the laser turrets are still quite dangerous.
They are, but not as much to Phantoms.
Less so to a cloaked Phantom.
Yeah.
Exactly.
As well, Pat gave the opportunity to basically get nuked by this bandit squadron, which was very impressive play by Gizmo, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And he had the potential of just losing one of his Phantoms right there, then and there. And luck had it that he didn't, but that Phantom's not in a good place with that crit.
No, it's not. And here is Echo letting loose 2 potentials, does 1 hit. Again, I assume he's setting up for a... Oh, it gets a crit through, so not too bad. So damage sensor array, that's useful. I would assume it's setting up for a decloak into a tail chase, but I'm not 100% convinced that a focus action would not have been the better option over the barrel roll.
And again, if that was his original plan, why he should have already been setting that into play with his other Phantom.
And this is Whisper dead, Gizmo getting 4 hits, and Pat only evading 2 of them. So basically giving away a Phantom for 3 shields off a Y-Wing.
Yeah, that is not worth it. And here we have 2 attack dice coming from...
So this is Pat's FO,
Yep.
Getting a point of damage through onto the bandit.
Having to split his fire is not something that Pat wants to do this point in the game, especially after he's lost a Phantom.
And this is the bandit squadron, target locking onto Echo. Looks like... Oh, Echo takes 1... Oh, Echo's taking a lot of damage, and Echo is actually down to 1 health. So Pat has 2 1-health fighters left. And here's the Y-Wing letting loose. Now, Gizmo is getting really nice attack rolls here. And there is... Looks like... Yeah,
That's game.
That was onto the FO and gone. And Pat just... Well, there's not a whole lot he could do. He gentlemanly scoops up after that.
Yeah, he was not in a good spot, and literally bearing down with both the TLT there and the Outrider. Give us a second. We're going to come back after a word from our sponsors.
Hey Matt, did you know that Atlantic Canada has a new gaming and tournament center in downtown Fredericton?
Yes, John, I did actually. Tell you what, I'd do even better. Check out the website yet. You can go on there, order X-Wing stuff online, get it shipped to you anywhere in New Brunswick or Nova Scotia. You've even got more locations to come soon. It's metagames.com, you should have a look.
So you're telling me that I can go online and order a bunch of T-70s for the integrated astromech and it's going to get shipped right to my door?
Yeah, and once you got them, come on down Monday night. It's our free play night. Come in, meet all sorts of interesting people, nice big open play space. It's a really relaxing time, you should check it out.
That sounds awesome. What's the website again?
It's metagames.com, so metagames with a Z on the end of it.
Long live metagames!
Alright guys, well that was definitely a lot shorter than we're used to. It was a brutal game and a really good demonstration of, well, what can kind of happen if you're just a little bit out of position at the start of a fight and just how that can snowball into an avalanche.
And I said it earlier in the video, and I'm going to say it again here. You really need to know the finesse of your squadron when dealing with something like Phantoms. Dealing with something that's a glass cannon like a Phantom, you need to know how to play it, you need to know what its strengths and weaknesses are, and you need to dictate the battlefield, and I don't think that Pat did that there. Gizmo looks like he just completely controlled the battlefield from the first turn. He was able to shepherd the Phantoms as well as the TIE FO for the most part, and then just put them in a kill box, mop them up, and win the game very quickly. I was very impressed with that. I was very interested to see that squadron, Gizmo Squadron, because I'm used to seeing Dash. I'm used to seeing Dash with a whole bunch of different upgrades, and then of course Cornhorn. But I didn't expect to see a TLT in there. Definitely wasn't expecting a Bandit. It almost felt like a cross between the Dash and Horn mixed with a little bit of Paul Heaver in there, and it looked cool. It looked interesting. I'm happy how it played out. Pat, I think that's a very interesting squadron, and I would have liked to see him succeed better, but that just wasn't his game.
No. Well, guys, as always, thanks for watching Wookies on X-Wing. Be sure to like and subscribe. We've got Wookies videos out every Wednesday.
We are part of the Northern Gaming Network. Be sure to check it out at northerngamingnetwork.com, where we have additional content for this game and others.
And if any of you guys want to get a hold of us or want to get a hold of John, let you know how you can do that.
Well, you can find me at Corhath. That's at CORHATH. But you can also find us on Twitter at NorthGameNet, or you can like us on Facebook to keep up with our most recent news.
And we'll see you guys next week.